It's the weekly show about rAVe with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Hey, happy Wednesday. How you doing?
And we were almost caught dancing.
Yeah, we were. We danced to our own jingle. It's embarrassing.
Corny.
It's really corny. I'm good. You have some news. You're leaving today to go.
I am setting off on a journey, driving across the country with my daughter to take her back to college, kind of, but also to race in the Escape from Alcatraz triathlon next Sunday.
That is a hard race. I remember you did it in 2016 because you did it right after my first Infocom. Mm-hmm. And I remember like seeing you running on the Escape from Alcatraz story.
Yeah. The run is the hardest part because it's the last part, right? The sweat, then the bike, then the run. And by the time you're running, it's like, usually hot and they take pictures of you and they put them online. It's like the worst.
When you're looking your worst, yeah.
There's no worse picture than you're suffering at the end of a triathlon and you're running.
Yeah. And then there's me who screenshots it and sends it to everyone at the company. So you can be looking forward to that from me again this year. I'll be looking for you on the story.
Yeah, maybe they won't find me this time. They do. I am excited though. Yes, I'm excited. Definitely.
That'll be fun. I'll definitely be keeping a lookout for you.
Hey, did you sign up to take the CTS test yet?
I did. Yes, I signed up to take it. I'm taking it on the 26th, the day before. It's like an Infocom will be going on, but the exhibits will obviously start on the 27th. So I'm taking it the day before. And I'm going down a little bit earlier than that because I just signed up to take the CTS prep course as well. Mm-hmm. Just because I've been super honest about this. I do have my Study with Steph podcast, and I've been working really hard on it. But I obviously don't encourage people to just listen to the podcast and then think they're going to go in and pass the test. That's obviously not what I'm doing. I'm studying in other ways as well. And I just thought that taking a last course before the test would help me in a lot of ways, just to help me go through a few last minute questions. And yeah, I'm taking the class in Hope that Hope Roth is teaching with someone else. I can't remember, but I'm really excited because I really, really like her. She's a good friend in the industry. So I'm excited to have her teach in the class.
Maybe she'll take the test for you.
Gary, don't say that. They're like, you're not allowed in here now.
This problem is everyone knows Hope, so therefore that's not going to happen.
Yeah, there's no hope. Happen. There's
no hope for you.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. They're going to be like, what's going on? Then no. So, but I do hope that she. I do know that she will be a great teacher and that it will be a very helpful last minute course to take. So I'm very excited to go down early. Because that'll obviously give me some extra time to get in the show spirit. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to being there a few extra days.
We are coming to you live on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn feed, coming to you live on rAVe Pubs. We're excited to be here today.
We are.
This is rAVe TV, our weekly TV show. I think this is episode 15 or 16. And of course, our sponsor. Don't forget about our sponsor. Legrand over here is the sponsor. We got another ad from them today. And coming up in a future episode, we're going to get some in-person, real-time education from Legrand. But first, let's talk about upcoming launch events. What do we got coming up?
Yeah, let's talk about those. So, Gary, first thing coming up later this month, you are doing a branding of me launch and learn. So tell me a little bit about that. I obviously know about it. I took your branding of me class when I was a student at Carolina many years ago. But tell me a little bit about what this launch and learn is going to entail, because it's not for students. It's for anyone who wants to learn more about personal branding. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah, you took my personal branding course. So I've been teaching a personal branding course at UNC since 2009. I think right now on the screen, Ethan has up the
date of the launch and learn. Yeah.
Date of the launch and learn, which is what, Steph? What is the date of that actually? I can't say, it's too small for me to read. I'm too old.
I know. I'm like looking at it like it is on August 17th. It's
August 17th. So Ethan,
at
you can
2 p.m. Eastern.
Ethan, you can take that off now. Go back to me and stuff. On August 17th, I'm going to be doing a personal branding session. I'm going to do a few of these actually.
Yeah.
So I teach at the University of North Carolina. I teach what was actually the very first personal branding course in college. It's a semester long, so 3.5 month course. My curriculum is actually used by a couple other universities around actually more than that, a half a dozen universities around the country use my curriculum, but I teach a personal branding course. So the way I teach branding is I get the students to brand themselves. And I've been getting a lot of requests for personal branding assistance from both our clients as well as friends in the industry. And I decided to put together a free session for the industry. Anyone can join if you're interested in amping up your personal brand. Like, what's the right things to do on LinkedIn? What's the right things to do on Twitter? What kind of things can you do to build a bigger personal presence in our industry, which doesn't necessarily encompass just social media. Some other things that I'm going to teach you to do. How do you get found when you type your name in a Google search? How do you make sure the right things are found, the right photos are found, the right search results are found? That's what I'm going to cover in these sessions. The first one is August 17th. They are free. They're part of the Launch and Learn series of launch events. All you have to do is go to launch, LAVNCH. In fact, let's hope that Kelsey, if you're watching this on LinkedIn, it can drop the link in to register. And then that way you can register for the Launch and Learn on personal branding. And I promise you, it'll help you. You'll be able to get help right away. Like the very next, or actually, if you come live, you'll actually be able to do things on your LinkedIn profile, for example, to improve your LinkedIn profile in real time. I'm excited to be doing this, and it's
it'll be a good time.
UNC, so I know how to do this from a student standpoint, and doing this professionally will be easy. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I was talking the other day, I think with Emily, who works here. I was talking to her because we were trying to figure out like what newsletters, because we were trying to put ads for it in newsletters to encourage people to sign up. And we were talking about like, well, which newsletters do we put this in? And I was like, well, this is like applies to every vertical, because this isn't a vertical specific AV thing. This is for anyone who's maybe you're looking for a new job. The job market is pretty good right now, or maybe you're just looking to amp up your personal like portfolio site. Like this, all of your lessons that you'll teach in this course will help with that. So from every corner of the industry and IT too, like everybody, this is something that you can really get behind and will really help you out. So highly recommend signing up. This is a class that I had took at Carolina when I went, and it really helped me. So highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
Well, we also have a Screen Beam is doing a launch event in September.
You can go
ahead and sign up for that too if you want to go there. August is always going to be a slower month just for everyone's on vacation.
Yes.
September 21st, big announcement from one of our partners. You'll learn more about that next week or the week after. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But big news for the week. Monday, we broke the story. We got the story 2 hours before everyone else in the industry. In fact, one of our competitive publications immediately went over to our website and found out about it by reading the story on our website. And we broke the story of diversified buying HB Communications. Big news, great deal for both of them.
Yep, let's show it on our site. But yeah, so we broke this. It was so exciting. It was kind of like an all hands on deck kind of deal, but like days like this when we get to break news are my favorite day. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a news guy. Like that's what I went to school for. That's what I have done for many years. So any day that like we have the excitement of some breaking news, I always love to get behind it. So it was like all hands on deck, quickly get the story ready to go out at this time. And we had a whole social strategy that we like quickly put together. And it was a lot of fun. And in that story is embedded a I can scroll down so you can look at it. You have an interview with both Fred and Dana. So
live interview I did, video interview, the only video interview they did, and you can see that at ravepubs.com.
So
big story. I'm sure everybody's heard it by now. Hey, we want to thank our partner Legrand for being a sponsor of rAVe TV. We're going to bring on our second partner next week. But right now, Legrand is our exclusive partner of rAVe TV, and they have a special message for you coming up here in just a second.
Yep, they do. And we are excited to show that video.
They make a little bit of everything. They are a glue company in our industry. Obviously they have some of the biggest brands in our industry, and they have some brands that are on the consumer or the residential side that are coming to the commercial side. Infocom would normally be their big show, but obviously with everything going on with the Delta variant, they're going to do something really unique at the show. I can't talk about it yet, but they're going to do something unique. I'm sure we'll bring that news to you. They're not going to do a normal booth like everyone else. They're going to do something really cool. It's going to make it, I think everybody's going to feel very comfortable walking in their booth, and they're going to feel very comfortable seeing what Legrand has to show on the show floor. So we're excited about them being a partner of ours. And thanks to Legrand for doing this.
Yes, and thank you to them so much for being a partner. We really appreciate their partnership, and I am personally excited because it's not going to be commercials every week. There's going to be some week that they're going to hop on with us and do really education-based stuff, because that was something that was really important to us when we created the partnership. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to be like, what our interviews with them are going to be like. It's a great partnership so far. So really appreciate their support.
And a month from today, we will be in Indianapolis at CEDIA.
I know. I'm excited.
We're finally going back to shows. And by the way, Draper has outdoor shades. And I'm looking forward to getting in my house outdoor shades on my screen porch.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
I don't know if we're seeing that story on the screen, but if you go to ravepubs.com, you can actually see the story of there you go. There it is. There you go.
Yes.
So the news to us that they have outdoor shades now.
Yes, and I mean, I know that CEDIA is going to be a smaller show than what we're used to seeing, because we're used to giant shows, even in CEDIA in years past being really big. But I'm sure this year it's going to be a little bit smaller. But I'm still looking forward to seeing all the booths. I'm looking forward to seeing what manufacturers have to offer. Like, I'm just excited to walk a show floor again. Like, there's just nothing quite like it. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Like, it's just such a great part of our job. So,
and we're taking, I think, 14 or 15 people to the show.
Yeah.
So we're going to cover it.
That's more than we've ever had go to
More than we've ever had. We're going to do the game.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to do some cool stuff. So stay tuned. We'll give you more details as we get closer to the show. What's next, Steph?
All right, let's talk about what's next. So this is an article written by Nathan Haynes. I've talked about his articles and columns that he's written for us before. He talks about a story that his dad told him growing up about this Porsche dealership, and there are all these salespeople who work there, and each time a new customer walks in, all the older, more experienced salespeople rush. So the new salesperson never gets a chance to sell anything. And one day there's this farmer who's at the dealership, and none of the salespeople rushed to go help him. And so the newbie got to help him, because all the salespeople were like, it's like this farmer, look at his clothes. He's not going to buy anything expensive. But the farmer ends up buying a used Porsche, and it's a few years old, and the new salesperson is like, oh, well, it's obviously not as great as selling a bunch of new models, but I'm happy to get a sale in this month. But the farmer was so happy with how the new salesperson had treated him, and was like, no one else would help me, thank you so much, that he was like, I have 5 kids and I've got the money I've saved up for years, so I'm buying all of them brand new Porsches. So so the moral of the story is kind of don't treat people badly. Like, don't, like, if someone comes in and looking
bad assumptions too.
Yeah, like don't treat them poorly just because they look a certain way, and kind of release all of the like things in your mind of like assuming how someone's going to be when they walk into the room, because you never know, that could be the biggest sale of your life. So treat every sale like it's going to be the biggest sale of your life, and treat every potential customer with that amount of respect. So it was a really good piece of advice that not only works for AV, but works in almost any industry where you are dealing with sales. So I thought it was really well written. It's a really good story. He obviously writes it a little bit better than I'm telling it. But it was an enjoyable read for me this week. And I think that it will be enjoyable for everyone else as well. And it is online at ravepubs.com. Just go over to the blog squad and it is over there. But yeah, I thought it was a really good story.
And last week, a company in our industry went public. Snap One, used to be known as Snap AV, actually went public, had their public offering of stock. I think it went public at $16 a share. I'll check it while you're talking.
It was 18, I think.
Went public at 18. Let's see what it is today, just out of curiosity, what it's trading at. I had it up here. It is currently at $18.10 a share, so it's trading about the place it went public. But anytime we have a company in our industry, and they're almost $1 billion company. Yeah. Anytime we have a company in our industry go public, it's good because it gives us a chance to kind of watch and see how the rest of the industry is doing. So whenever Barco announces their earnings, and whenever Poly and Logitech and companies like that announce their earnings, now we have a company, Snap One, that helps us get an indication, because most companies in our industry are private. They don't want to talk about how well or how poorly they're doing. And of course, Clear One is another example of a company I follow that is public. But if you don't know who Snap One is, check them out at snapone.com. They're kind of an interesting company. They make a whole bunch of stuff. They're like a glue company as well, but they also act as a distributor from some products as well. So what's up next, Steph?
Well, remind me, what did Snap One start, or Snap AV then? What did they start out doing? Because they're not that old of a company, are they?
No, they're not. They're less than, I think they're 15 or 16 years old. They're based in Charlotte, North Carolina. They started by making a speaker line called Episode, which was a home theater speaker line. Then they built some of the first in-wall speakers. And then they do power conditioning, and they bought Control 4, which is a big control system company. They bought Sunbright TV. They bought some other lines out there as well. And then of course they started distributing some products. That's right. Well. They're 99% or 95% of manufacturing. Of course, the fact that they bought Control 4, it was a big deal. Yeah, for sure. I can't remember. Are a lot of companies in our industry public? They're not, are they? They're very few. There's less than a dozen that are public. Do you think that this will be like a trend that will be happening, where like more and more companies in our industry make the push to go public? I think that we are becoming more mainstream. Our industry is becoming more emerging to be a more mainstream industry. We have, just as an example, over the last year, we've had more organizations talk to us about whether or not we're for sale and what we're interested in doing. And so I can see the sort of movements in our industry. Like in the last year, we've had more interest than we had the last 15 or 16 years combined. So there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of money out there. And I think a lot of people are seeing our industry is more mainstream. 10 years ago, if you go to a party and describe what you do and you're in our industry, it was very difficult to do. Now everyone identifies with what we do. Yeah. Well, now, especially because of COVID, because I used to try to explain it to my dad, and he's like, I don't know. I just stop talking. That's fine. Something technology. But now I'm like, I'm in the same industry as Zoom. And my dad's like, oh, got it. Yeah, that makes sense. Got it. Yep. That's the one good thing about the pandemic, is everybody knows who we are and understands what Teams and Zoom. Yes, and even my grandma now, I can kind of explain it to her, and she's like, "Oh, that industry, yeah, sure." Whereas before, in fact, throw that out there. Anyone has any ideas of how to describe what we do in a really nice, simple, organized way? Yes. Please let us know. Hey, we want to wish. By the way, our production is being done today behind the scenes by Ethan. But Madeline, our normal producer, is laying on a beach somewhere in Florida, and we thought we would just say hello to Madeline, because she insisted on watching our show to make sure that Ethan did a good job pulling this off. Nathan Haynes just popped in and said, "Hey, lots of consolidation, more companies." I predict the next integrator to be purchased will be Spinatar, and I predict that they will be purchased by AVI Systems, or possibly Diversified, but I think more likely AVI Systems. Just I don't have any inside information, but I think that's going to come.
I think that this would be potentially an interesting column for you to write about, like, the trend of companies in our industry going public, because I might be different than a lot of people, but I tend to think of just the AV industry, but I don't often think of the AV industry as a business. So I think that would be an interesting thing that you could write about, Gary.
It might be. I mean, I've always thought it'd be kind of interesting to write a column on that tracks all the public companies and trends them.
That would actually be really cool. I would help you with that if you wanted to write it.
There you go.
All right, great. We love planning content while we're live on TV.
In real time.
So, okay, let's talk about the next story I have for you guys today. So this is a column by Mark Coxon. You all know who he is. He's a really great writer. He's written for us for years. But I thought this column was really funny. It made me laugh like out loud, because he is talking about how he's been watching the show Loki on Disney Plus. I don't know if you watch it, Gary. I'm not a Marvel guy. I'm trying really hard. Like, I've watched like 3 or 4 movies, but like I get really tired after them. So like they kind of have all the same plot, and it's just like different people. But be that as it may, Mark is watching the Loki series, and the show revolves around this concept called like the sacred timeline. So it's like kind of this idea that there are multiple timelines, that like every decision you make like puts you in a certain timeline. In every opportunity, everything you choose, but there's like one sacred timeline. So Mark talks about how like he feels like this idea of a sacred timeline is kind of like what we have in AV. And like we just kind of accept that some companies were like predestined or predetermined to make what they make today. But he kind of like puts a few like scenarios down. He's like, well, what if Poly or Cisco had built out their own teleconferencing spaces in urban centers? Like, what if they did that in like a WeConference model? Like, what if malls did this? What if Kramer had done that? So he just kind of puts a few like really interesting like
alternative history or are they challenges?
I think like alternative history. I think it's like, what if this had happened? What would become of our industry today? What if this company had made this choice? Like, would we still have XYZ? So I think it's interesting. So like, if you're the type of person who likes a lot of what if scenarios and who likes to think about like all the different timelines and the choices we make, you'll like this article. So it's not a long read, but it's a fun read.
I read all of Mark's stuff, so I'm gonna definitely read. I didn't realize that had been posted, but just to prove that Madeline is alive and well and watching us, there she is, literally watching us on the beach on her phone live. That is a screenshot of her checking us out right now. So hey, Madeline, hope you're having fun. And Steph and I are hanging out, waiting for you to come back.
Yes, she was talking in our work chat earlier today, and I was like, girl, if you don't go away, you're on vacation. But then she came back and was like, don't tell me what to do. So I was like, fair enough. All right, you can stay if you really want to. But at least she's getting some sun on the beach. I'm glad to see she's having a good time. But yeah, I think I only really have one more story for today, and that is my case study of the week. I don't think I've done that in a couple weeks, actually, so I don't. But this is a Tascam case study where they help out Third Eye Blind. I don't know if anyone remembers that band. It's like,
I didn't know they were still around, but that's awesome.
I don't know if it's the original guys, because but it's very 90s. Yeah. You sometimes hear Never Let You Go playing in Target while you're shopping. It's very much like a mall song. But Tascam actually helped them out with their sound. And I just really like case studies. I'm glad that we post them on our site. We have a special case study section. So anytime a company in our industry sends us one, we'll normally post it, because I just think they're interesting. And I like to see how products are being used in real life situations. So they talk about how this band used their different microphones to create different sounds in their studio recently. So I think it's very interesting. And I love Tascam. Oh,
Can you hear it?
I can.
Okay, that's for those people that may not have known who Third Eye Blind was, but
yeah,
now everybody's like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah, because that song also
I was shopping at the Gap.
Yeah, that song just like will come on when you're in Target or Gap or randomly when you're at an ice cream place or something.
Exactly.
We're gonna get like a message from this band being like, why are y'all making fun of us? No,
they are. That's Third Eye Blind. But,
it's Third Eye Blind. I'm glad to see that they're doing well. They're still making music, and they're using Tascam to do it. So congrats to Tascam and to Third Eye Blind for still making music. Although I haven't listened to any of their new stuff, I don't know if it's good.
All right. Well, look, we have finished another episode of rAVe TV. I want to thank Ethan for popping in and doing this for us today. He usually handles a lot of the launch and learn and other launch events, but he ran in here and popped in here and did today's rAVe TV episode. I want to wish Madeline a fun, relaxing beach vacation.
Yep.
And Steph, I will see you when I get back. Well, actually, I'll see you virtually on the road. I'm not sure where I'll be next Wednesday. I'm not sure if I'll be in San Francisco. I'm either going to be in Tahoe or San Francisco, but one way or another, I will do this live.
Sounds good.
Try to do it outside with something in the background that's more interesting than a launch logo.
I do like your sign in the background, though. I love the neon sign.
Neon sign, love it.
I love it.
It's going in the studio, and they brought it in to show it to me, and I was excited about it. So
that'll look great in the studio. I'm excited.
Well, hey.
All right, that's
Steph,
been our
have a great weekend.
You too. All right, I'll see you next week, Gary.
And we're out of here.
Bye. See you at noon next week.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.